So I bought and watched Alligator for the very first time in my life. This is released from Scream Factory. It's the 4K Blu-ray edition. This film was released in 1980. It is a creature feature, of course, about an alligator who attacks the city. And once it was announced, because I love my creature features, I had to pounce on this one real fast. Being like that, I've never seen it before, and making it a first time watch. This was a pretty epic first time watch, let me say. It actually didn't feel 1980 whatsoever. It felt more modern. Even like while watching the film, I kind of forgot that it was 1980 and thought it was like maybe 1986, 1987. That's definitely the vibes that I was getting out of it. But yeah, like straight beginning of the 80s. It's a really good project, especially for all the practical effects that go into this film. This is just loaded with beautiful practical effects, and it looks so good, so good in HD. It's amazing. This comes with two versions, so you get the theatrical version, which I watched, and then you have the television version of the film too, which is longer than the theatrical version. If I've ever seen that before, it's been extremely rare, but I can't even recall a time where I've seen like a TV version of a film longer than the theatrical version. But it is what it is. It comes with both versions. I watched the theatrical. This is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to get into big detail. But basically, what you have going on here is you have this little girl who she's at some kind of carnival or fair or something like that. Brings home a little tiny alligator, which is the cutest looking thing. Her dad flushes it down the toilet for reasons unknown. It's a really random scene, but regardless, it gets into the sewage system. Then we flash forward to 12 years later. 12 years later, there is this. I don't even know what his position would be. He's kind of like a vet, but he's experimenting on animals. He wants to find what I'm guessing a cure for disease or something like that, and he has this guy that works for him that goes to literally capture pets. Like legit, like he goes find lost pets, he brings the pets back to the guy so he can like experiment on them and like cut them open basically, and then just discard them afterwards. So one thing this film definitely has is a lot of harsh animal deaths, and not just including the alligator. So I will say that right off the bat. And there is also some child death in this film. There is definitely some killing kids. So for anybody who's squeamish about child deaths and child murders and animal murders, be warned about this film, because there is some of that stuff in it. But this guy's experimenting on these animals, and then he has this guy go dispose of them in the sewer, and this guy gets eaten by the alligator in the sewer when he's doing his thing. So all of a sudden, you have this investigation on body parts that show up in the sewer, which I would figure the alligator would eat the entire person, not leave an arm or a leg behind. But regardless, the whole city starts to think that there's a killer on the loose, and this police officer named David Madison, he takes on the case and the investigation. And he has this investigator, like this kind of paparazzi guy, a journalist, you could say, on his ass all the time, and this guy's annoying as hell, and he's questioning him left, right, and center, and eventually he ends up being eaten too. So you have a bunch of bodies showing up, or I should say body parts showing up in this town, and it turns into this whole scandal and investigation, where this detective, this police officer, David Madison, teams up with the little girl who's grown up now. Her name is Marissa, and she has become a herpetologist, which is the study of reptiles and amphibians. And they team up together to investigate this killer animal who has released himself into the city, and is kind of staying in hibernation, not in hibernation mode, but in its territory, but every once in a while coming up for food or humans, and then going back and whatnot. But the practical effects on this creature is absolutely amazing. This film is so hilarious. It's the perfect elevated B film. Like, you want a B film, but one that's done properly. I mean, this is the film. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's so well done, and it has its cheesiness, but it has its intelligence at the same time. It's not just a B movie thrown out there. It's a B movie that has heart to it, and it's just so well done. I'm so glad that they gave this the release that it deserves. It actually gave me a lot of vibes too in certain scenes that went on with it. Like strange movies too. Like I just started thinking of like Godzilla from '98, I believe, the one with Matthew Broderick, the American remake of Godzilla. Gave me a lot of those vibes. Just the way the way it was directed and the way they had the dialogue, I would say, with the human characters. I wouldn't be surprised if Godzilla '98 was inspired by this film in some way, shape, or form. And it also gave me a lot of Lost World vibes, especially in the scene in the Lost World where the Tyrannosaurus Rex starts to havoc the city. There's kind of some vibes in that sense when the alligator starts to havoc the city in this film. And there's a scene where it actually comes out of the sewer, and the practical effects on the alligator itself look amazing. And when it's eating people, it's something that I've never seen in a B movie or a creature feature before. The way it chomps on people, like all of it is practical, and you can definitely tell that this thing was built. And there's probably a ton of models that they made for this film. But when it's chomping on people, it just looks so awesome. It's just beautiful the way it's done. And there's like a wedding scene, but like he starts to like attack a wedding and everything, and just like throwing people all over the place. It's ridiculous. But going back to when he breaks out, this film it definitely plays with the camera a lot in like some cheap ways, but you can forgive all that because of how much time and dedication they put into the creature effects. Like when he's exposing himself and like coming out of the ground, like there's times where like the camera will just shake and it just looks kind of cheap. Like they're trying to make it like there's an earthquake going on, but all they do is like shake the camera. Like literally they just go like this. And it's just so like cheesy, but it's so it goes with the film so well that it's just awesome. So I really liked Alligator. I think it's freaking awesome, and I just shook my camera, so I gotta adjust that shit. But I so recommend this from Scream Factory. I want to get the second one, The Mutation, so that's on my list, and I haven't forgotten about that one. But yeah, you've got one hell of a special treat on this release. I really loved Alligator. That's my spoiler-free review. Go check it out if you like monster movies, if you like creature features, and if you like practical effects, because this film dedicates itself to practical effects, let me tell you. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more real soon, so subscribe and stay tuned if you're interested. And until next review, take care, have a good one. We'll chat later. Cheers.